Solving and graphing a compound inequality is when both cases must be true. So this part must be true, and then also the x minus 3 less than 4 must be true. So what we have is called an intersection. Often it's worded with the word and. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph the solution set. So we need to be able to solve this. Solving means getting this variable by itself. Well, we have a negative 3 with it, so I need to put a positive 3, move it. But because I have two inequalities, I got to put a positive 3 with the negative 2, and I have to put a positive 3 with the 4. So I'm moving this negative 3 to both sides of the inequality because I have two of them. When I do this math, I get 1. When I do this math, I get also, that's a positive 3, I get 7. So I want to graph this. By graphing it, I go to the 7, I go to the 1. On the 1 is going to be a filled in circle, and on the 7 will be an open circle, and I get that based off a look at the inequalities. And I want to be able to graph the in-between part because I want numbers that are bigger than 1, which are numbers like 2, and I want numbers that are smaller than 7, which are numbers like 6. So we're talking about the in-between part. That's why it's called an intersection. So if we go back up to what we're asking the intersection, and intersections happen when you have less than signs that are one inequality. To solve what's called a union, which is putting two things together, where you put them together, you often see the word or, which you'll see right here. So we're going to graph these, but we're going to do them separately. So now I'm going to solve this first one. So solving it means I need to move this positive 7 over, which becomes a negative 7. So I'm going to have a negative 2m less than, and I'll move a negative 7 over with a 13. So there's my negative 7. And I will get negative 2m less than, and this is 6. Now I'm going to divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Because I'm dividing by a negative number, I have to switch the sign. So that becomes a negative 3. So there is my first one solved. So now I'm going to do my second one. Once again, I'm going to move my 12 over, which becomes a negative 12. And when I do that, I'm going to get 5m greater than, and negative 12 with 37 will give me 25. Now I'm going to divide by 5. Divide by 5. So I get m greater than 5. Now I have two graphs I'm going to graph. So I'm going to graph each of these. So I'm going to go to a negative 3, and I'm going to go to a 5, and that's out here somewhere. So on red, I'm going to have a filled in circle. And because the letter's on the left, the arrow is going to go this direction because I want numbers bigger than negative 3. Then I'm going to go to the open circle of 5, and I want numbers that are bigger than 5. So I'm going to go this direction as well. So we end up with basically a graph that's going in one direction this way. And so our total graph, and I'm going to do this in black, there is the union of those two graphs. I put them together.